I'm Gabrielle Shirley here with Scott Reynolds from PewterReport.com. Scott, let's start today with practice. What did you see out there? We were actually in the indoor facility because of the rain.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be raining on Sunday. I know it was in Baltimore last Sunday, and they're going to be in the Dome, obviously, this Sunday against Dallas. Deshaun Jackson's back. He's going to try to go this week with his thumb injury. He's been out the last couple of games, and this offense has really missed his presence, whether it's been catching the ball, scoring touchdowns, or even just stretching the field and opening up things underneath for guys like Cam Brate and Mike Evans. So if they can get Deshaun Jackson this week, that's only going to help them. Now, on the defensive line front, Gerald McCoy is sick from Baltimore, and not just from the loss, but also I think he's got a cold. So he wasn't out there at practice today. Neither was Jason Pierre-Paul. He's just been so banged up. The guy's such a warrior. But he wasn't out there due to his hip and leg injuries. So I would suspect that by Sunday, those guys would be in action, and hopefully Deshaun Jackson too.
Now, you mentioned Mike Evans, JPP. Talk to me about these Pro Bowl, quote-unquote, snubs.
Yeah, it's really tough for the Buccaneers this year. There's not any consolation for Tampa Bay's 5-9 record right now with a couple of guys in the Pro Bowl. The last couple of years, it's been Gerald McCoy's been the mainstay with 6 straight Pro Bowl berths. That came to an end this year. He's not even an alternate. Mike Evans has been a Pro Bowler in years past. Quan Alexander, obviously, he was not really a factor because of his injury. But there's always been 1 or 2 guys, and that hasn't been the case in Tampa Bay, I think, since 2009. Gerald has made the Pro Bowl. So this is kind of a weird year in Tampa Bay not to have anybody get represented in Orlando. That may change if there are some cases for alternates. We saw Mike Evans was a first alternate at wide receiver. You know, it's tough because there's so many good wide receivers in the NFC. Yes. Mike is the second leading wide receiver in the league. But what hurts him is just the lack of touchdowns. The Bucs offense is so diverse. It's spread the ball around, and he only has a handful of touchdowns. And you look at other guys that have close to 10, and that's probably what puts them over the top. Jason Pierre-Paul is really tough, though. I don't know how he's not in the Pro Bowl. 11.5 sacks. I think he's made a big difference in this Bucs defense. He is the third alternate, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially when a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence has fewer sacks, less statistics with Dallas. And I know they're on TV a lot. They're the Dallas Cowboys. They're the front runner for the NFC East title, and that helps. But I just think JPP was a real big snub this year.
Tell me, what does this game on Sunday at Dallas, what does it mean for this team?
For the Buccaneers, it means it's the 15th game, really. That's it, because they can't make the playoffs. Right now, you're playing for a paycheck because this is your job. It's a profession. You're playing for pride. I don't know that they're necessarily playing for Dirk Cutter, to be honest with you. But for the Cowboys, it means everything. I mean, they lost last week in dramatic fashion to the Colts, 23-0, and saw the Redskins and the Eagles win and keep that NFC East close. So Dallas right now is still in the driver's seat. They can win out and win the division. They're going to be giving Tampa Bay everything that they've got at home. And it was a close game a couple years ago when the Buccaneers were contending for a playoff spot in Dirk Cutter's first year. And that was in 2016. This year, a couple years later, I don't see this game being close. I see Dallas winning big time and really putting the nail in the Buccaneers' coffin in advancing their playoff cause.